Hey everybody, what's going on? It is Jason with the Board Game Mechanics, and today we're going to take a look at a few rounds of Tales of Arabian Nights. If you want to see our full review, you can click the link in the video description. That will talk about gameplay, what we think about the components and all that kind of thing. But if you don't want to check that out right now, let's get into the gameplay. So to set up, you're going to put the board out on the table. It's really big. There's not a lot that goes on it. Each player is going to take a player color, which I don't know how well you can see them up to the top here. It's just basically going to be, you're going to get a player board. It's going to have some turn order, an encounter matrix, and what all the skills are. You're going to take a character, and there is a sex side, which matters for gameplay, but you can pick whatever you want. Just sometimes you have to flip it to the other side. And you're going to get all the tokens of your color. So in this case, you'll get 3 quest tokens. You'll get a destiny marker, which you'll put at 0. You'll get a story marker, which you'll put at 0. And you get a wealth marker, which you'll put at poor. And then each player is going to get a quest from the quest deck, and there may be some setup. So green had to have another player put all their green quest markers out on mountains and forests. And once they get to all of them, they have completed their quest. This player needs to get a treasure. They can't do all that right now. Then, before the game even starts, you're going to pick your win condition. Now, this is basically a race to 20 points, sort of. But it's going to be divided across Destiny and Story. So you're going to pick some combination of Destiny and Story. So I'm going to play as Shahrazad here. And I picked 10 Story and 10 Destiny. All right. But I took different numbers of tokens just to kind of throw people off. Not that it really matters, but that's what I did. They did the same thing. And then each player is going to get 3 skills from the available skills. So in this case, Shahrazad took appearance, magic, and stealth and stealing. Sinbad took wilderness lore, weapon use, and seamanship. So they're good on a boat and with a weapon, which makes sense because they are Sinbad. Then you're going to put these time of day markers. The first player will keep track of it normally. We just put it there, make sure when it's the first player's turn, you do it. And then you're going to keep the quest cards here, shuffle the treasure, shuffle the encounter. And then you're going to have a stack of statuses, which are in alphabetical order. You don't want to shuffle those. Just leave those face up because you'll be digging through those. And each player starts in Baghdad. All right? Now, that's the setup. Most of the game is going to happen in this thing, this Book of Tales. There's over 2,000 different paragraphs in here that people are going to be reading. And we're going to be making decisions. But instead of me explaining that to you, let's just do it. So, Sinbad, Shahrazad is going to go first. Now, on your turn, you're going to follow the turn order. So let me see if I can show it to you. You're going to follow the turn sequence. So you're going to look past the Book of Tales. So it'll go to the Book of Tales goes to the person on your left. The Matrix goes to the person on your right. But for the sake of this, I'm going to do it all, okay? But normally, if it's a 3-player game, I would take my turn. The Book of Tales will be here. The Matrix will be here. So I'm not involved in any of the story reading, okay? Then you're going to check any statuses and treasures. If you have any statuses or treasures in front of you, look at those. You may want to use some. Then you're going to be able to move. Now, movement is based on how wealthy you are. If you're poor, where we start, we can move 3 on land or 2 by water or any combination of that, but we can't exceed 3, okay? So let's get rid of this. We don't need that for now. I'll bring it back and show you some more stuff later. So let's go ahead and move. They want to start moving toward their quest, so let's go. I can't see. Let's move Sinbad off. So we'll go 1, 2, 3. All right, so we move 3. Now, when you end in a location, you're going to do an encounter. So what happens here is you flip a card, and you're going to be looking at the card and doing what it says. So this one's going to be determined on the time of day. So it's morning. So what happens here is it's morning. We're going to look in this book. The person who has the book is going to go to number 87, which is basically the encounter that you're going to be looking at, or who you're encountering. So we'll look at this, and I'll show you. So we're at 87. It's Matrix A. The player, Shahrazad, is going to roll a die. So you got a 2 plus a 2 on the board. Any destiny points, as far when you get up to destiny, it's going to add. But right now, I'm just a 4. So we'll look at 87, number 4. So Shahrazad is encountering a handsome prince. All right. Matrix A. Shahrazad, handsome prince, Matrix A. All right. So what Shahrazad's going to do is she's going to look at Matrix A, and she's going to decide what she wants to do. She could grovel, aid, rob, avoid, converse, attack, court, abduct, or honor. So let's see. I think she's going to, let's do court. So she's going to court. All right. So then what's going to happen is the person who has a matrix is going to look at its handsome. They're going to go to handsome. They're going to go to court. They're going to come down to the matrix, and they can see that that is number 302. Now, normally it would be 302, but then Shahrazad's going to roll this die. It could be 303. It could be 301. But in this case, it's 302. So we're going to read passage. Whoever has the book is going to read passage 302. So I'm going to spoil a few things in this just so you can see how it works. But I'm not going to play through a ton of rounds, so don't worry about it. Probably each player is going to do a round, and then I'll talk about it. All right, so player's going to read. When you make clear your respect for the handsome prince, he huffs. Okay, a couple of things here. The book is always going to say other. As the character, you can input that or read other. And it's always going to be in he, so you can adjust the gender based on what's going on. When you make clear your respect for the handsome prince, he huffs. I have many friends and suitors, and though few are so attractive and clever as you, you must prove yourself worthy to win my respect and affection. All right, so now, in this book, there is a couple options of me looking to see if there are certain traits and skills that they have. So the book is, I'm not going to tell this to the player really, but I'm just going to ask, do you have courtly graces, storytelling, or appearance? They do have appearance as one of their skills. They're Shahrazad. They're beautiful. So then, if they want to, they can use that skill. They don't have to, but they're going to use it. It also says married here. Let me show you. It also says married. So if they had any of these skills, and if they had married, they'd have to do the married because it says mandatory. Otherwise, they may use this or they may not, okay? But they're going to use it. Your grace, wit, and charm set you clearly above the rest, and you win the affections of the handsome prince. You're going to score 2 destiny points, so destiny's moving up. You will, if the opposite sex, they are the opposite sex of the handsome prince, you're going to get seduction. I put all these in a cup, so I gotta find it. Seduction. Got seduction. And you're going to get beloved. Otherwise, wisdom and respect. So we got beloved as well. And that's a status. So that'll be the first status that we've gotten. All right, so let's get the status. Beloved, they're in alphabetical order. And these are going to be things that you may have to do, may or may not do before you're able to take your turn. So beloved is decide whether to accept or reject his or her love. If you accept, you receive 2 destiny points to become married. If you refuse, roll 1 die in the following status. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and accept. So I get beloved. I'm going to decide to accept, so I get 2 destiny points. Oh, I did the wrong color. 2 destiny points. And then I'm going to become married. So beloved goes away, and now I'm married, which is also a status, again, alphabetical order. There's a lot of flipping through these cards, so just be prepared for that. All right, so I gain a story point when I get this status. So now green has gotten a story point. So I've gotten 5 points, technically, here. The next city you enter, or city you are now in when you make your home. So next time I go to one of these city-looking places, I have to put my origin token down, and I have to do things whenever I get back there, all right? So that is where we are. So that was my turn. Now let's do a turn for Sinbad, and then we will talk about the end of the game, because it's going to keep playing like this throughout the whole entire game, okay? All right, so Sinbad's turn. Again, he's going to look past the Book of Tales, check the statuses. He doesn't have any. And then he's going to be able to move up to 3 because his wealth is poor, all right? He has nowhere. He's trying to get a treasure. So let's just go boom, boom, boom. He's going to go to Mecca. That sounds good. All right, so he's flipping an encounter. Afrit, a girl Afrit. All right, and it's morning. 2 of them that has to do with morning. That's cool. Actually, let's switch it up because I want to show you a different card. Let's do... All right, so this card, the other card that I showed you, so this is the one that Shahrazad got, is based on time of day. This card is based on the location that you're in. So Sinbad is in a city, so right here. So the book is going to read number 71 to determine which matrix that we are doing. So Sinbad will roll. Whoops, wrong day. They will roll 1. There's nothing in there, so they have a 1. And they're reading number 71. So a destitute hunchback. They're going to encounter the destitute hunchback on matrix C. So they'll look at C, and that will let them beat, enrich, rob, avoid, question, attack, follow, or hire. And just for the sake of being a scoundrel, I'm going to beat the destitute hunchback. So then we will look at the matrix on C. Sinbad will roll a destitute hunchback getting beaten. Destitute getting beaten. Oh, wrong one. And it's negative, so 460 is the passage we're going to read. All right, so let's read 460 and see what terrible things Sinbad just did. All right. You gave the destitute scoundrel a sound thrashing, then discovered that in your rage you have killed your victim. The local authorities are most displeased and hurl you in a dungeon. Ooh, oh, that's not good. But I get one destiny, one story, and I'm going to be imprisoned. That's not good. All right. So imprisoned is bad. But that's what I get. I mean, I did beat a destitute hunchback. You may not move while imprisoned. Lose lost if you have it. You do not have normal encounters while in prison. Instead, you have to deal with a jailer. So from now on their turn, they have to do different things because they're imprisoned. And that's that. All right. So that's how the game's going to keep progressing. It'll become back to Shahrazad. We change the time of day, and we keep going. All right. Now, let's look at a couple encounters, and I'll tell you how the game ends. There's also encounters that look like this. They're city encounters, okay? And these encounters are you're going to read a passage or do a normal encounter, just like you normally would. Then if you get back to this city on a future turn, you can then do your encounter like normal and then complete this card. So you're basically going to roll a die and whatever you get. So I rolled a 1, I would encounter on a con game on Matrix I, okay? Then you just do all that and then the card. But you don't have to keep these after you do the initial encounter. You can discard it, but there's no harm in keeping them. So those are all the encounters. Now, there's also spaces on the board that are big that only have an arrow coming out. These are called places of power, and these can only be gotten into from some of the encounters. So you may play a whole game and never get into any of them. You may get into one, but you can't go into there physically on your own. You have to have a card that lets you get into there, okay? And there are treasures that are going to be gotten through some encounters and other ways and all that kind of thing. And they're going to be used at certain encounters. Maybe you can sell them to up your level, your wealth, and all that stuff if you want to. And also, if you meet the criteria of your quest, as an extra action after you've done your encounter, you can complete your quest. Basically, going to give you destiny and story points majority of the time. All right. So how do you win? Once you've met your criteria of destiny and story points, you will be able to go back to Baghdad. You have to do an encounter, and hopefully you don't get something that causes you to not be able to win, because there are some cards in here that if you have the card, you can't win. You have to do the encounter, and then after you've completed the encounter, you'll reveal that you're going to win, and then everyone else has one more turn to get back to Baghdad if they've met the criteria and complete an encounter. And whoever has the highest, the most, if you've met your story point criteria, whoever has the most statuses, these cards in front of them would win. If there's a tie, it's whoever has the most skills. After all that, all right? So it's basically just a bunch of storytelling and moving around, trying to collect treasures, complete your quest, get good stuff from encounters, and hopefully not get too many bad statuses here. And that's the gist of the game. There's a little more to it, but not really. You saw everything that you can really see. Rolling dice, moving around, doing encounter, and all that. So again, if you want to check out the full review, click the link in the video description. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and as always, keep gaming.